You know, back in the day, quality of FNAF fangames was not as important as it is now. Nowadays, people seem to be fighting for a potential spot in second Funverse, and while games do look beautiful, they tend to not play too well, or played way too safe. But back in the day, it really wasn't all that too different, but graphics were definitely worse because most of the creators were literal children using Blender for the first time in their life. But all the fangames did try, even if they were mostly basing off what was the latest FNAF release or a fangame that was popular. But hey, they still tried to be more original, and more often than not formed a small communities that would love these games. No matter the actual quality, because it was non-existent at that moment, so no one could differentiate what was good fangame. And boy, there were a lot of them, and I hope to cover as many of them as possible. But today, let's just focus on one series, which is 6 Horrors is a FNAF fangame trilogy made by Toonster Games, who you may know for his contributions in many FNAF fangames. He's basically a FNAF veteran at this point. I hope I will be able to check out all of them someday, but right now let's just focus on his private series 6 Horrors, as it is the only one I have real memory of playing when I was younger and quite enjoying it. Not sure which one, but definitely one of them. And if you're asking me if them were ever popular, well, you most likely never heard of them before this video, and the most popular videos is the biggest videos being Jumpscare Showcase and gameplay of the third game, capping at around 80,000 views at the time of writings, which isn't too bad of a score, but it also isn't too high. There are 3 games in the series. Well, okay, this is a bit of a lie. See, the game note shows you that there are 3 pages, but there's also a 4th page with older versions of these games, and I wouldn't be true to myself if I didn't try them. And I don't think covering all games at once would hurt, right? So let's start with the earliest game in the series. Okay, so starting from the earliest version of 6 Horrors under a slightly longer name, it was released on the 8th of February in 2016. And after playing it, all I can say is that I feel like I can go for a nap. Alright, it is a fangame from 2016, a time when, again, fanbase standards were marginally lower than nowadays. And it is the first game in the series, so I guess it has rights to not be the greatest FNAF fangame of all time. And man, it really looks like the first game Toonster ever made. Even if it isn't, because before 6 Horrors, he made a series of games called One Endless Night at LMG's. And those are also FNAF fangames, even if they are PNG FNAF fangames, which are not good most of the time. Maybe I will play them in the future. But let's go back to the 6 Horror series. Menu is pretty simple, can't say anything bad about it. But hey, that's only the menu, you say. What is the gameplay like if you felt so bored after playing it? Well, have some footage. Yep, that is all. That is all there is. I don't think I need to explain it. But in case you aren't paying attention, I will explain it anyway. Okay, so you check cameras with Enter for some reason. Seriously, programming camera bar was more complex or something? Now, to be fair, I never made a FNAF fangame or touched click team, so I don't know any better, but anyway, there's only one camera that is showing us the titular character Toony, or Toonybot 1.0 as he's called in the extras. Looks wise, I mean, texture is fine, his head looks like bread, and it's okay for like first Blender model. He goes through 3 stages on cameras before appearing in your office. And when he does that, you need to take hallucinogenic pills that make you, well, hallucinate some weird images of Toony and makes Toony character go back to the stage. This is all there is in the gameplay. Can you tell why I got so bored with this game when the gameplay is this? This is such a nothing of a game, there's close to no tension. I don't need cameras for anything, just wait till you see Toony in the hallway or just hear the sound cue. He plays, take pills and rinse and repeat for 8 more nights. Alright, 8 more nights, because this game makes me suffer a bit, because it doesn't follow the general FNAF fangame structure of 5 basic nights, bonus night and custom night. Toony decides to be more original and adds another night to the basic ones, making it 6 basic nights, 7th night is the bonus one, and 8th one is the custom night. You know, this may not sound like a big issue if gameplay was something interesting, but it is very lackluster. And to be fair, I saw fangames that played way worse than this one, but those were like F-tier FNAF fangames, and this looks like at least a C-tier. But man, it does not play like C-tier. All nights are always just like night 1, because only Toony can kill you, and okay, there is technically golden Toony, but it requires you to pick up the camera, which you don't need to do. Going from night to night, all that changes is just the speed at which Toony comes to you, and even at his fastest gameplay is still as boring as ever. Even night 7 paycheck tells you to never come back, so maybe I should have listened. Maybe. This was a slightly miserable time, not because of the difficulty or bad mechanics, no. This game just had nothing in it. One enemy is already a boring idea, but making him only have one mechanic and stretching out the game for an additional night just nailed the coffin in which this game should lie in. But hey, there are more games to check out, so let's just hope that the next game will be better. Alright, off we go to the sequel, and it released a month after the original game did on 29th of March 2016. Okay, but this game is an improvement from that thing, and a pretty big one at that, even if I still have a lot of things to pick with it. Okay, so the title screen is a bit more active, background scrolls, the title of the game supports this cool font, and we are already seeing the new animatronic in here. Say hi to ToyTonyBot. He looks so goofy. And I think it's because of his hands that look more like blocks of cheese. The texture is also kind of weird, like I don't know, it just doesn't look that good. And I really don't have that much more to add, it just somehow looks worse than normal Toony in the last game did. So, starting a new game, newspaper says they made a new place, 20 years later, and we work there. So, we appear in the office and it looks better? It's hard to say. We have 2 bars, one for jammer, other for flashlight, and oh look, even a camera button, and a actual map of restaurant. Toaster was learning fast how to make a FNAF fan game better. So, what is the gameplay like? Well, it isn't as sleep-inducing as original was, and it has a bit of tension in it, and is overall a better game than the first one was. On night 1, only withered Toony comes to you. Oh yeah, they got the guy from the last place here. He's broken now, his eye is bloodshot for some reason. Not sure how a robot can have a bloodshot eyes, but sure, it's a fine design if you ask me. He goes to the right corridor, and when he disappears from there, you need to use the jammer to make him go back. Kind of like we used in the last game, but jammer has a cooldown, so if you use it too early, you will most likely die. Oh wait, Pix actually had a cooldown too, wait. On night 2, Toony is active, and he goes to the left hallway, and when he is there, you need to seal the door. Yeah, seal the door, not close, because it's copying FNAF 3 vent locking mechanic. Oh yeah, and there's also just a new percentage added just for the door on the left. It isn't a bad duo, it is better than the last game's singular Toony, but I have to say that there's one thing that made this game a bit harder than it should have been, and it's, weirdly enough, camera static. So, in most other FNAF fan games, when the character leaves the camera, you get shown static for like a second, so that room's image can reload. It's most often a very quick and nice visual effect to show that animatronic has moved. Here, however, if either of Toony moves, even if you aren't looking at them, the camera shows static for around 6 seconds or so, and if one of them leaves during the static, the timer resets, making you see only static for a good while, time during which you have no idea which Toony moved and if you are in danger or not, making it very easy to die to one of the Toonies. Maybe I'm just nitpicking, but this static hit screwed over my reaction time for mainly Toy Toony. Oh yeah, you may have noticed I didn't mention the flashlight, and that's because it's kind of useless. It is supposed to show you if withered Toony is in the office, and when you need to use the jammer. But you may as well just look if he disappears from the hallway and then use the jammer. Yeah, the flashlight is kind of useless in this game, isn't it? And I really only have the footage of it because I remembered on the last night that I have it. And this is all the gameplay has to offer. I mean, it is more interesting than the last one, but mechanics are still kind of lackluster. Once again, you spend 7 nights doing the exact same thing as during night 2 and boom, an ending. Actually, there are 2 endings. One for finishing night 6, showing ToyTonyBot shining with text bad end. Not sure what I did to get here, but okay. And to get the good ending, you just have to play night 7. I mean, it's kind of like the Fazbear's Return 3, but it just like in that game, I just kind of question why put the next ending behind the next night. Whatever, here it is. Toony falls. And credits play. This is big comedy. I didn't really bother with Custom Night because I was a bit bored, but there is a reward for completing Custom Night. You get burnt alive. Great. And that was 6 Horrors at Toonys too. An improvement over the original. Toonster has clearly improved on this game, adding another thread, making the gameplay loop a bit more interesting than just pressing one button to win. And what I forgot to mention in the last game's review is that these games were bug-free. For a 2016 FNaF fangame, these games ran pretty flawlessly. I didn't encounter a single bug when playing them, so that's cool, considering how broken some of those games are. So with this optimism, let's move on to the game 3. I just realized that this series existed for less than 3 months, and it already got 3 games. I know it isn't too unusual for a FNaF fangame in 2016 to release like 2 weeks apart from each other, but like, those games were also generally not too good. So yeah, that doesn't spark optimism in my opinion. So how does this relate to 6 Horrors 3? It released in 8 days. 8 days after the second game. Oh, and also the only version I can find right now is a 2020 updated version. The original release is not on the archive page and I cannot find it anywhere online. Expect for few comments that say that it was rushed to meet the deadline, and because of that the final part of the game is missing, to this day. Toonster, why did you do this? You couldn't extend the dev time a bit? Whatever, let's just get to the game. So when you first start the game you get a small minigame where you play as this Toony kid. You just walk to the right through this diner and then it ends. Yeah, there's not much to it. But hey, here's the title screen and dare I say it, it's the best one so far. Not sure what this thing in the middle is, but hey, it's pretty cool. Checking the settings, there were normal options like changing FPS, volume, but there was also depressing content. Huh, now I wonder what kind of depressing content we will see. And what does it mean for the game's story? Maybe let's just start the game. Huh, hour 1. Interesting choice there. Alright, so we are in the office. I think it's the best looking one so far. I mean, to be fair, when your competition is this and this, it was a pretty easy win for this office. At the bottom of the screen and above the camera panel we see tips. No fungi in this game, I assume. Oh right, I didn't mention fungi before because they were really just a kid doing a minute-long recordings, so I didn't find them noteworthy to mention, and to be fair I prefer text over bad voice acting. So according to this, when we see Hybrid Toony in the hallway, we need to use audio to make him go back. The lesson is kind of weird as it says no keyboard controls in this room, maybe next one has them. Which sounds a bit like leftover developer text from a test build, but again the game was apparently rushed, so maybe I'm nitpicking too much. But since this guy was mentioned, let's talk Hybrid Toony. So yeah, this is definitely the best design Toonster has made yet, even if I have no real clue what I'm looking at. I really like his head and hat, but I have no clue why does he have the mini head of Toy Toony on his shoulder. Is it to assert dominance? Maybe. Kind of reminds me of Torture animatronics from The Return to Freddy's 5. Now that I think about it, wasn't The Return to Freddy's 5 developed around the same time as Toony 3 was? Well, The Return to Freddy's 5 did get demo on December of 2015, so maybe it was an inspiration for this design? Alright, but I'm talking too much about the character and not enough about the gameplay, because man, this was a very long gameplay section that had nothing happening during it. Guess how many times Hybrid attacked me? Once. One single time. 10 in-game minutes before the night was over. I know this was a hour, but it took him so long to waddle into the hallway that I was really bored by the time he did. Oh well, we have most likely 5 more hours to go, so let's continue. Oh, a minigame. So we play as the Toony kid again, you follow this path until you reach a black wall that tells you to go back, and after I went back I saw Toony sitting on the floor. I tried not going to him, but after looking around I realized that was my only choice. After hopping into Toony's suit and looking around, hour 2 starts. And we are not in the office? We are now in the dining area. Oh, so it's trying to be like Five Nights at Wario's 3, where every night is something different. Hey, that's not the worst source to borrow ideas from. And our pad, instead of cameras, has a radar that tells us where Toony is. If he's in the dining area with you, you need to hide under the tables. I thought I can change this section by just hiding under the table and never leaving, but after a short time Toony just killed me for camping and the 100 IQ plan got destroyed. Oh, and the game over shows that we die in the office with Toony running away from the place of crime. It's weird considering we were in the dining area, but maybe he just took us all the way back to the office to kill us. But gameplay wise, you don't really need the radar, just wait until the Toony appears in the room with you and hide for a few seconds. Rinse and repeat for the whole night and boom, you won. Also, patch shows us that apparently it's 1975, which would make this game a prequel to the first game. Hour 3 starts with no minigame, guess we are getting one every 2 hours. And well, why are we bopping so much? Are we doing some jumping jacks or something? And what is this location? I don't remember it on the map from the first hour. Whichever it is, it's a very long hallway, man. Alright, tips say that I need to press Ctrl to use the jammer when we see Toony in a hallway with night vision. Oh right, we have night vision now. I'm not sure, I think those are meant to be goggles, but when we put them on, I can't tell the difference between this night vision hallway and normal hallway. It is way too late to convey the need for the glasses. But what I apparently can't see without night vision is hybrid Toony standing in the middle of it. So you use the jammer to deter him, and I feel like we are regressing a bit gameplay wise. The gameplay is pretty similar to Hour 2, even if we can't hide, but it also isn't that interesting. The idea of night vision is cool, but the location we use it at is way too well lit to convey the need for it. So another hour went by uneventfully, and look, another minigame. So we are Toony in the middle of forest with this grayscale and rain accompanying us. I see the depressing content now. Looking to the right shows us... I think I can say it on YouTube, but I think you don't need me to explain it, right? Not sure how exactly is this meant to be depressing, but I guess there was an attempt at it. Hour 4, we are in the supply closet, it seems. Our tablet's cameras are back, and I can't find Toony anywhere. Who are you? Okay, so according to Wiki, his name is Ghostly Chuck. Looks fine, even if a bit generic. And as a matter of fact, he's not from this game. Chuck is a main character from Five Nights at Chuck's, made by Jelly Raya. She's listed as a modeler for 6 Horrors games. And Toonster is listed as a co-programmer on most of Five Nights at Chuck's games. And sometimes a voice actor. And I guess because of that they decided to make a crossover. And so Chuck appears in 6 Horrors 3, and Toony appears in 3 Chuck's games. Chuck 2, Chuck 3 and Project Midway. And no, I am not going to talk about Chuck's games, this video is long enough. Let's just go back to Hour 4. I really don't seem to have a way to defend myself. I mean, I have a tablet, I can look around, but I don't have any gadgets or ability to hide. And there are no tips. Great. So Chuck just waddled into my closet and killed me. And game over screen still shows that Toony kills us. I guess it was somehow not foreseen by Toonster. So how do we deal with him? We look to the left. Yep, that's it. You can beat this whole hour not touching the camera. Just move to the left and go do something better. No, I'm not kidding. I'm still beating this hour. I think even if I played this hour and didn't just walk away, I still don't think I would have much fun. This hour was just bad and I can't excuse it. Let's just hope the finale is good. Okay, so we have hour 5. Oh god. This can't be... It's the first game again! Okay, if you want a description of what this hour is like, go back to Toony 1 section. It is almost one-to-one with that game. Expect it has hybrid Toony replacing Toony, and we have 3 whole cameras that are useless. All the gameplay is here is just waiting and pressing a button to not die, just like the first game, and I have nothing else to say. It is just a copy of paste of 6 Horrors 1. For that we are rewarded with the last minigame. Okay, it's more like a cutscene, so let me just play it. Or you know what? You and me don't have time for this, so let me just summarize it. So this Shadow Toony person appears in this hospital room, I assume, next to a person who seems to be connected to several medical devices. The Shadow Toony figure expresses that he's sorry, that it shouldn't have come to this, and he seems to regret something, and that we are going to die soon. I mean, what else can "you will be one with the angels" mean? Oh, and also, he's our father. Anyway, we die. Like, I want to feel bad, but I have no clue what the story was about at that moment. Like, the Shadow Toony is our father, so did someone die in the Toony suit? And who was this person lying in the bed there? They're like, was this us? Was this whole game just a manifestation of our mind? I have no idea. So, credits play, and after that we see a thank you screen, kind of like the one we got after Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Anyway, after this we unlock extras menu, and it is a bit lackluster, with only character and jump scares from across all the games. Like, I expected a bit more. Oh, and also this making of hybrid Toony section. It has only 3 stages, which I found kind of hilarious. And that was 6 Horrors 3. This was a big disappointment. Like, I can't say Toonster didn't try. Oh, he did try with this game. But I assume because this game was made in 18 days, the gameplay really feels more like throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what sticks, and then connecting what sticks together. So the final product ended up being not that good. And I kind of wish that there was some sort of updated version that could fix all the issues I have with it. Unfortunately, Toonster had already shelved the update, saying that he was just not interested in making it. Oh well, I see the potential in this game, but unfortunately, it's buried pretty deep. Okay, so now that I'm done with the original trilogy, let's move to the updated versions. So, do you remember at the beginning of 6 Horrors 3 section when I thought that game released fast? Well, Toonster decided to one-up himself by releasing this game, 6 Horrors Remastered, 5 days after the third game. Yep. However, you will soon see how did Toonster manage to make another game 5 days only after releasing the third game. So let's boot up the game, and I'm already done? This is the first time I booted this game, it's already completed. Huh? So this is a fun fact I learned. All 6 Horrors 1 games share the same save file. This means if you play the original release, you downloaded this remaster, and just so happen to have a save file from that version, you will start from that point in the remaster. Which I think is pretty cool, but that also means that every 6 Horrors 1 remaster that I will cover in this video will be fully completed. So, hear me out on this, but I'm going to cheat a bit and only play one night to see the differences, because I don't expect there to be many. Okay, so going over what Remastered added, there are a few things worth mentioning, like there are now 3 cameras reused from 6 Horrors 3, just like The Office. And hallucinations also look like the ones from 6 Horrors 3. And 2 camera renders seem to straight up reuse the same Toony render, like I'm not kidding, this is the same render, you can't fool me. It all is borrowed from 6 Horrors 3. There are very few original assets. And I guess we have the answer on how the hell did Toonster make this game so fast. He stole assets from his own game and just made it a bit longer. This game is essentially an hour 5 from 6 Horrors 3 with replaced assets and published under a different name. And I mean, I think it's a better game overall. It has the same gameplay loop as the original version had. There are only real changes in the visuals, and it isn't a jump in quality that deserves to be named Remaster if you ask me, more like an asset swap. After this, Toonster got Josh Ray again to develop the last 6 Horrors game, 6 Horrors Midway. The second half sounds familiar? Well, it should, because this game got cancelled because of some development complications, which caused the project to get handed to Josh Raya and reworked into Project Midway, I mentioned earlier in the video. 6 Horrors Midway does have a cancelled build dated for around June 6, 2016, but there's not much in it. There's only really a menu and some bare bones of its gameplay. There's not much to really say about it other than, yeah, it got cancelled. And caused a 2-year hiatus for Toonster on this series. Yeah, 6 Horrors just didn't get a next game for 2 years, which means that now we are traveling to 2018. On 15th of January, Toonster released 6 Horrors Legacy Edition. To be honest, there's even less to say about it than there was about the remaster. I mean, this is 6 Horrors 1. Again. Slightly better graphics, no gameplay changes, like, what can I say about it? 2 months later, on 18th of March, Toonster released an update for 6 Horrors 2, which accidentally became the source of most of the footage for this game. Yeah, I accidentally recorded most of the 1.3 update instead of the original, and only realized it now. Oops. I don't think I missed that much though. The main changes I see is that the title screen is different, UI is a bit different, and cameras have blue tint on the 1.3 version. However, all of these updates that I just talked about were all small things compared to what was coming. Soon after that, Toonster started teasing a final update for both 6 Horrors 1 and 6 Horrors 2, with one for 6 Horrors 1 called Halloween Update and one for 6 Horrors 2 called Christmas Update. And as foretold, on 31st of October 2018, the update for 6 Horrors 1 was released. And it's very good, if you ask me. Now, again, I am cheating a bit, I am not playing the whole game, I only played Night 6. But that Night 6 was pretty great, if you ask me. Cameras have new renders and they all look great. We got a power generator, but it is basically a music box. Well, at least there's a reason to pick up the cameras now. We also have 2 newcomers, Tammy and Shadow Tony. Tammy goes to the vent in the same camera as the generator and you need to see it FNaF freestyle. Don't bother opening it as it opens them automatically after a while. Shadow Tony requires you to close your eyes, which isn't too annoying, but if you just started closing the vent and he appears, you need to act pretty quickly to make sure you don't die. Golden Toony is supposed to be here too, but I couldn't get him to appear. Overall, I think this is the different version of 6 Horrors 1. For update just called Halloween Edition, there are some huge changes to the gameplay loop that changed this pretty boring fun game into something pretty decent. Let me state that it's nothing too mind-blowing, but it is pretty solid and should deserve the name of the remaster, but I guess that is already taken. Now, fast forwarding to December 25th of 2018, we have the release of 6 Horrors 2 major update. Yeah, not Christmas update, I already fixed that. And just like the update for 6 Horrors 1, it's very good. And fixes most of the issues I had with the original game. And also because it doesn't share the save file with original 6 Horrors 2, I actually had to play it. At least 2 people will be happy with that fact. Oh well, let's just get to the game. Title screen is more basic than the one from 6 Horrors 1 update, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Starting the new game, we have a newspaper saying that after declining business, 10 years later, Toonys Pizzeria is back in the spotlight with brand new animatronic. And of course they have night guard position. Editor me, can you show me the original newspaper, because I do not remember if it's the same plot or not. I don't think so. Correct me if I'm wrong. So now we are in the office and it looks like 10 times better than the original one. I mean, compared to this and this, yeah, this is way better. And also every single camera looks 10 times better than the original one did. Moving over to the gameplay, few things have changed from the original. Now we have a Five Nights at Freddy's 1 style power meter that constantly drains throughout the night. Don't worry about running out of it, I personally never ran out of it. I was pretty close around the final nights, but I never ran out of it. It was pretty generous if you ask me. On night 1, just like in the original, only Withered Toony bot is active. He goes from the parts and service to the right hallway, and when he's there, when you use the light switch, you need to use the jammer. This time jammer works a little bit different. It has a shorter recharge time, but it costs a random percentage of power, so you cannot go too happy-go-lucky with it. I never did, so I never had problems with it, but I think that's a good way to balance the mechanic out. Night 2 reintroduces us to Toy Toony bot. And I still have vendetta against him. His design is definitely better than the original one. I finally don't have issue with his textures. He's mostly going to be chilling in party area, and when he's going to attack, he's going to the left hallway and you need to quickly close the door. Sounds simple, right? Well, guess what, he's still just as big of an annoyance as he was in the original. I do not know if he has some sort of secondary sound cue, but sometimes he just doesn't play his sound cue. Sometimes it plays when he's attacking, sometimes it plays when he leaves the stage. I have no clue what is up with him. He just doesn't telegraph his attacks right, so it was mostly better for me to just keep the doors closed when I open the camera, or just to make sure I don't die to him. Can this guy be balanced at least once? And this is where original 6 Horrors 2 threads ended. But this update adds 2 more. On night 3 you are introduced to Withered Tabby. And she's a little bit disappointing if you ask me. And to be fair, her design is pretty good, but her gameplay mechanic is kind of eh. She goes to party room and from there she goes to generator room that is not on your map. And when she's there, the power is maxed out and is constantly draining. To stop it, you just have to press the fire alarm button and sound some fire alarms to make her go back. Kind of if you ask me, I never had trouble dealing with her. She definitely never drained my power too much. Good design, bad gunplay mechanic, if you ask me. And on night 4 you are introduced to the golden Toonys suit. He's basically Golden Freddy of this game. He sometimes appears in the office, and when he does it you just need to put up the camera. I only got caught by him only once because I wasn't looking at him specifically. He just happened to appear on the side of the office that I wasn't looking at, and he jump scared me. Well, at least I can say I have footage of him, unlike the original 6 Horrors one. And that's where threads end. Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good balance. The last two that were added don't change gameplay all that much, but this is still way better loop than original had. So let me just quickly skip forward to night 6. So on night 6 our fungi is, well, going to die. Oh right, I didn't mention a fungi at all in this game. Well, I can say that the performance is, well, leagues better than original one was. I mean, the original one was just a kid, so yeah. The only complaint I have for this fungi is that he's way too quiet. Like, compared to sound effects, fungi is near silent. But whatever, because we have a bit of a story with him. Basically, he was contacting me throughout the night, telling me what animatronics do, and saying that he was not feeling good after spending time in this place. Around night 4, if I remember right, he started seeing some shadowy apparitions of Toony animatronics.
I've been starting to experience a lot of strange events since a few days ago, so I think I need to lie down. I'll go to the doctor tomorrow. Just keeps going on. Good night.
And on night 5 and 6, he said that they were following him home.
I don't think I'll be able to call you anymore. I've been seeing these weird shadow creatures around my house, and I have no clue what to do. I got the medication to hopefully treat what I have, but it doesn't look like I want to. I'll just have to wait this out.
Well, on night 6, his house burns down, and he dies because a roof fell on him.
My barriers, and I'm scared someone trying to catch me.
Which is only confirmed where we get the newspaper detailing the incident. And that's all. Yeah, that's all this story has to offer to us. There is night 7 and 8, but both do not give you any sort of story context. Night 7 unlocks your extras menu and night 8 gives you a cutscene. Yes, I actually bet night 8, it was super easy. And this is, as of the writing of the video, the last 6 Horrors game. And yeah, it ended on a pretty high note if you ask me. Again, gameplay is pretty simple, the threads that were added aren't that consequential, but the gameplay loop is definitely improved, and I could actually understand some of the story that was told here. Unlike the last... How many games again? Like 8 or 7 games? I did not get a story at all that was being told here. Like, this is the only game where I actually understood the story. I would most likely get more context if I played the 6 Horrors 1 remaster, but whatever. Overall, I think it's a pretty decent series. With only 3 games and only one of them being currently not remastered and still in the original version, this is pretty decent series. Like, it's nothing too memorable, but hey, with the last 2 games I actually had a pretty good time. And yeah, I guess there's nothing more to say. Toonster made a pretty good series. I didn't mention before, but this was supposed to be Toonster's attempt at a serious FNaF fan game. I think he succeeded. And seeing the progression from the first game to the last one, Toonster definitely improved with development, and yeah, I think I can recommend these games. If you want to give them a try, of course, after watching this video.